What if I told you that you could cut a penny with a pair of scissors? You'd probably think it were a magic trick, or that I'm lying to you. Believe me yet? I'm Alex Sheppard. I'm the district manager for CUTCO, Cutlery, and Vector Marketing. And if you or anybody you know could potentially use some work, then I want you to listen here. Because we're filling positions right now, and now's a really big time of the year. And I just wanted to kind of clear the air kind of about what we are about. So there's three core values that we're going to talk about with CUTCO that pretty much have been our values since 1949. And they all fall under one common theme. It's vector trained. So the first one here is the products. We sell the best damn thing in the house. We sell the only thing in the world that most people get to buy that is the best of its kind. Do you know a ton of people who drive Rolls Royces? A ton of people who own Rolexes, real ones, right? Cutco's the best of its kind. We're the #1 sold kitchen cutlery in North America. So that's what it's all about, is our customers, when they buy CUTCO, they love it. And we've discovered more now than ever before how much of a difference this product really makes. I'm talking to people who are out in the field right now, and they're having customers saying, hey, when my stimulus check comes, I'm buying CUTCO. When my unemployment comes, I'm buying CUTCO. I've sold to people before who have used their unemployment checks for CUTCO. Now, this isn't financial advice. Let me pose the question to you. Would people be spending their unemployment checks on a product if it weren't very valuable to their everyday life? You see, if you eat, then you use knives. And maybe you don't love to cook. Not everyone does. Maybe you cook just to get the job done. Maybe you do love to cook. Think about how much more you would love it if when you went to go cut that tomato, you didn't squish the tomato, you made a really clean cut. How much easier cooking would be if rather than spending 15 minutes in the back of the house trying to find a way to, or the back of the kitchen, trying to find a way to cut the watermelon, that you just took out a CUTCO knife and did it in a minute. So that's what our products are about. People look to build up to something called the CUTCO kitchen. The CUTCO kitchen is when somebody has a set of the knives, the flatware, and the cookware. The knives, this right here is our Homemaker Plus 8 set. It's an 18-piece set, 8 knives, 2 forks, 8 table knives for everyday use. It's the most sold knife set in the United States, period. We sell more of that knife set than any other 2 knife sets combined. And it's perfect for somebody who just wants to get started cooking and stop fighting with their food every day. And then back on the note of the CUTCO kitchen, we also sell cookware, where I'm not going to go into too much detail with it, but pretty much our cookware, it's waterless cookware, meaning you can put frozen vegetables in the pan and cook them without putting any water in the pan at all. You can rinse off your vegetables and just using that water, put it in the CUTCO cookware and it will cook. And then we have flatware, which it looks like your grandma's flatware that you got to take out and polish and you use it once a year because it's so much hassle, but it's so nice. But ours, it's for everyday use and it stays looking like your grandma's flatware. And again, all of our products have something called a forever guarantee. So once someone buys, for example, a set of CUTCO knives, unlike other knife companies that are going to lie and say that their knives stay sharp forever, we understand that our knives eventually do go dull, but when they go dull, we have something called a forever guarantee. Our customers can send them in the factory and get it sharpened and polished completely free. If it ever melts, chips, cracks, or breaks, then our customers can send them in the factory, get them fixed or replaced for free. So that's what our products are all about, because once someone buys Cutco, it's the last time they're going to have to spend money in the kitchen ever again. Start with why. I talked to the CEO of Cutco, Jim Stitt. I had the pleasure of meeting him at a dinner a couple years ago, and I was a young up-and-comer, an 18-year-old kid who I thought, oh my gosh, I'm sitting here with the president of a $250 million company. What on the world am I going to ask him? Like, I need to pick his brain on something. And one of the questions I had for him, I said, what's your favorite book? And he said, my favorite book is Start With Why. They say that when the why is strong enough, the how reveals itself to you. This is the why. The why is our products are so high class that it is our job to get it to as many people as possible. And really, you can never have enough of it. I know Jess Miser, he's a 26-year-old guy, and he has the ultimate set, the full set of knives. And he says that's hardly enough because you need the right tool for the right job. This right here, it's our logo for our team here in Dayton. We're the Dayton Dedication Team. That's what D2 stands for. The other thing that D2 stands for is that there's two types of people in this world. People who own Cutco and people who are going to own Cutco. And that might sound just like some corny, cheesy phrase, but what if everyone did own Cutco? And then I put here cooks, not chefs. I love chefs, but Cutco has always been about helping the family and going to residential prospects, if you will. We don't sell, to restaurants. That's not our line of business. Our line of business is residential use because people are at home cooking. And people are at home cooking now more than ever being quarantined. So the cool thing about it is that while people are at home cooking, they are spending time with the family. It's something that our society has gotten away from a lot. People are so out of it. They've got TV dinners. They've got, I'll see you. You can live in the same house and see someone 4 days later. Now, it's probably not the case being quarantined, but the fact remains that we do this for people who just cook at home, whether they cook to have fun or they cook to get the job done. Cooks, not chefs. And we're bringing back the family dinner, which also is big for health as well, because obviously meals that are cooked at home are much healthier overall, generally speaking, right? Second thing we're about here is the programs. Our programs have been damn near perfect since 1982. You see here, #follow the manual. Our training manual was written by the best people in our company, Cutco sales professionals, people who sell Cutco as a full-time profession at a 50% commission clip. I know Ray Sumner, he's been selling Cutco for over 30 years now. That's what these programs are about. And the manual, the script that our representatives use leaving day one of training is written by the Cutco sales professionals who are selling a ton themselves. Our representatives who are brand new get to use that same script. One of those people who helped write the manual, Curtis JQs, one of the main people actually. Last year, he personally, through his fairs and shows and through his in-home appointments with people, has sold over $1 million worth of Cutco just last year. How to win friends and influence people. It's really what our programs are about. It's about training top-of-the-line salespeople. And a top-of-the-line salesperson isn't some slick-talking manipulator. Top-of-the-line salesperson is somebody who makes their customers feel like family and wins friends and influences people . here's the deal. Most people, when they're age 65, yes, they have a ton of financial struggles. The studies are out on that. The data's out on that. I'm not making that up. But most people, by the time they die, they have less than one close friend. And we're isolated now more than ever. True salesmanship is about winning friends. And that's what our programs have been teaching since 1982. The other thing I put here is hashtag Vector20. They say that a 20-year-old in Vector and a 20-year-old who hasn't had the Vector trained experience are two completely different people. I think about when I went into Vector, my only experience in sales was I sold burritos at Chipotle, right? Now I'm sitting here and I have job offers from so many great companies and so many great job offers coming my way. And I'm not saying that to brag or impress you, but to impress upon you that all I've done is take advantage of the opportunity that Jake Miser and Columbus and Vector have given to me at the young age of 17. And that's why I'm still here. Because if I didn't take advantage of that opportunity, then I'd still be working at Chipotle. And let me tell you, I started there at $9.75 an hour. 2 years later, I got a raise. I was making $9.80 an hour. Your boss is never going to come down to you and say, hey, you've been doing a ton of great stuff. Let me just give you a promotion up to 6 figures. But the cool thing is, here at Vector, we get paid what we're worth. And there's constant room for growth and advancement. But back to the Vector 20-year-old. I've been to so many great places. Been to Jamaica for free on the company. Cabo San Lucas for free on the company. Grand Cayman. I was able to take my girlfriend to Cayman. I think we were 18 years old. That's unheard of. People save up their entire lives to be able to take their girlfriends to Cayman Islands. And it's a trip I was able to win on the company. And I'll dive more into the experiences later, but a Vector 20-year-old is much more prepared to take on the world than a regular 20-year-old. And our goal is that when somebody leaves here, whether they work with me just over a summer or they work with us all throughout college, the goal is that by the time they leave, they can get whatever their dream job is. And they're not being interviewed by companies, but they're interviewing companies saying, hey, why is your company a good fit for me? What would it do for you if you had that sort of leverage speaking to a company? Hashtag Vector20. Hashtag Vector Trained. Right here, I put President's Club. This is one of the ways that our representatives get to set themselves apart from other college graduates and other young people who are entering the workforce. The President's Club letter, it's a signed letter of recommendation from the president of our company, Al DiLeonardo, that people have the chance to win and put on their resume. Just in our office alone, we're not a huge office. We did a little over $215,000, $220,000 in sales last year. We're not a huge office, but just in the summertime last year, we had over a dozen people win the President's Club letter. So that's the President's Club. By the way, we're going to have a ton more people win it this year. Laptop money. Up until now, our representatives have been doing mainly in-person appointments, meaning sitting down at the kitchen table with the customers and with people. And that's been great. We've really enjoyed it because we've gotten to cut a ton of food, gotten to eat a lot on the presentations and hang out with people at their house where they're comfortable, where they do their cooking. It's a really great experience. But because of everything going on with the country right now, obviously we haven't been able to get into people's houses. So we've switched to virtual presentations, all done over the laptop. And you might think that virtual presentations wouldn't do as well, but the exact opposite is true. We are selling more CUTCO now than ever before, and while most companies in America have no choice but to pretty much close down right now, we are one of the few companies that is actually growing consistently. I'm not just making this up. Our Midwest region, it's an 8-state region. Keep in mind, we're a $250 million company. The Midwest region last week, this year, was over 100% growth from this week last year. Again, we're not some super small startup. That is crazy growth, and that is just a testimony to our programs. So people right now have the opportunity to make more money than their friends working from home, have more fun than their friends working from home. The opportunity in America is greater now than ever before, and that's because of vector marketing. We've been doing this since 1949, and I will tell you, ever since 1949, people haven't had to worry about whether the American dream exists or not. The American dream is alive and well. And then right here, you see this happy person stepping on the staircase. CUTCO, we're a stepping stone job. Wall Street Journal rated us the top stepping stone job for young people in the United States. The reason why is because so many people, when they graduate, they just have experience in food service or retail, printing copies at an internship. Logan Franke is a great example. Logan Franke, he worked here all 4 years throughout college. By the time he graduated Indiana University, he had job offers from Google, IBM, Wells Fargo, Northwestern Mutual, Edward Jones, and a ton of other big name companies, because he had real world experience that people actually look for. So again, the goal when someone works with Vector is that they can go out and get whatever their dream job is later down the road, if this isn't it. But let me tell you, this is the next closest thing to your dream job, and you get to work that until then if you are accepted for a position here at Vector Marketing. So that covers the programs pretty much. Last thing I want to talk about is people first. So now's a crazy time. Everyone's been getting laid off. Guess how many people, how many factory workers CUTCO has laid off as a corporation? Guess how many people we laid off in 2008? There was a time when about a quarter of all of our management staff left CUTCO abruptly. And CUTCO and Jim Stitt, the CEO of CUTCO, they had a choice to make. They decided we can either, because we are losing a ton of money in sales right now, we can either cut back on our programs or we can double down on our people. And what Jim Stitt said, and what the leadership of CUTCO said, is they said, it's time to put people first. That's what we've always been about here. When someone is a brand new sales representative, they start out by showing CUTCO to people that they know and that they're comfortable with for practice presentations. The reason why is because most people would feel really strange if I threw them in a random stranger's house right outside of training. Because again, most of our representatives here have little to no sales experience. We obviously tell friends and family they don't have to buy anything. It's really low pressure and laid back. But what surprised me when I got started, and what seems to surprise a ton of new people when they get started, is that on those practice presentations, people love CUTCO, and oftentimes people buy a ton of it. Adam Sweeney is a great example of this. He graduated Archbishop Alter, he graduated 2017, worked with me the summer of 2018, my first year out here in Dayton, and just in his fast start, he did 29 practice presentations. These are people that he knows, And they spent over $10,000 on CUTCO. They spent over $10,000. He hit, I think, 4 promotions just in his first 10 days. And who can blame those people? Because again, the product that we sell is the best of its kind. So that's what really shocks people, is that even people that they know, they're standing on acres of diamonds. Now, the other thing is you matter. And what you do matters, and what you don't do matters. I already told you about how CUTCO cares about the people who work here. But it's not just about how CUTCO cares about the people who work here. It's about how the people who work here carry themselves. People who work here realize that what they do has a drastic impact on the world. What they do with their family is going to affect how their family interacts with all their coworkers. And it's going to affect how all those coworkers interact with their families, and so on and so forth. So the impact that somebody can really make is emphasized, and the individuals really celebrated and pushed in Vector. We joke that people can practically show up to a meeting and get recognized for it. And that's not really the case, but we do a ton of recognition as a company. It's one of our staples as a company. Most people, one of their biggest gripes with their job is they feel like they're working a ton and not getting recognized for it. If somebody puts one order on the board for the week, again, that's hardly working, right? That's doing one appointment. Maybe it's just a customer calling you and placing an order. If somebody gets one order for the week, they get recognized at our team meetings, celebrated. And we're really changing lives selling knives. And I think I've already dove into why this opportunity is so life-changing and why our product is so life-changing. But this is what it really comes down to, being Vector trained. It comes down to creating 5-star recruits. 5-star recruits. Again, becoming somebody who top employers are targeting for a job. Not one of the several people who, unfortunately, across the United States is going to be very soon worrying about where they're going to go for work. So that covers the 3 core values of CUTCO. Now, I want to dive in a little bit about what it means to be a part of our team here in Dayton, in the Dayton Dedication Office. You see this logo here. It says D2. Again, that stands for Dayton Dedication. There's only 2 types of people in this world: people who own CUTCO and people who are going to own CUTCO. Now, we have 6 core values as a Dayton Dedication team. The first one is the 4 Ps. The 4 Ps are the 3 Ps that the company listed here, and the 4th one is promises. There's a difference between contracts and covenants. A contract could be something that you write up for somebody who is working for you, and maybe they don't have a great attitude, whatever, things don't work out, you cut off the contract and they're gone. That's a contract. A covenant is a commitment. They say that there's a difference between the chicken and the egg in breakfast. Chicken and the pig. The chicken lays the egg, right? We all know what the pig does. The chicken was involved in the breakfast, the pig was committed. And the people who work here are really committed, not to CUTCO, although they are, but they're really mainly committed to themselves. So many college students, so many people talk to themselves about, well, someday I'll do this. Someday I'll land my dream job. Someday I'll increase my income. Someday I'll boost my resume. I'll get started with that someday. And most people live in what Brian Tracy calls someday aisle. So it just comes down to, is your success a contract, something that is contingent on something, or is it a covenant, something that you're committed to? So that's one of our values here for the 4 Ps. Next value, managers that sell. We do not have a single manager in CUTCO who has not started as a sales representative. The job of the manager is to recruit high quality people to sell the CUTCO product line, and then also to train and develop those people on sales. So we take it very seriously. I'm constantly talking to Ray Sumner, Jess Miser, studying sales, and our managers are constantly studying sales because it's one of those things, you're either getting better or you're getting worse, and it's our job to get people to sell the best product in the world. So managers that aren't focused on improving in sales really have no business teaching a representative how to sell the product line. So we're very passionate about managers and assistant managers that sell. Third is to take responsibility as a team builder. I've been telling you about CUTCO and about the hashtag Vector Trained and about this opportunity. Unfortunately, most people don't get the opportunity. Why? Well, they don't get the opportunity because they never heard about it. Or maybe they heard about it, but they heard a rumor about it and believed the rumor, and it kept them from getting a job that they would really love. You see, as a team builder, it is our responsibility when we are a part of a team that we want to build it with the best possible people. In our logo here, we have a couple things. We have the lucky 7. We want to have 7 people on our staff in the Dayton office who can put on their resume that they're assistant managers, and not just put it on their resume. This isn't just about the resume. They seriously get to help run a small business in the Dayton area that sells the best product in the world. So that's the responsibility of the team builder, is to get the word out there. They say that the sin of the desert is when you go and you find the water and you're stranded in the desert and you don't tell anyone else where the water is. Don't commit the sin of the desert. Be a team builder. Fourth, using gratitude to become top of the class, top of the line salespeople. And then you see all these hashtags, all these different books. Here's why. What we have found is that the people who succeed the most in sales are the most grateful people. Warren Buffett says that the secret to success is gratitude. And that lesson is consistent. John Ruhlin, he wrote, where is it? He wrote Giftology. Giftology, he talks about how he uses strategic gifting and gratitude to sell a ton of CUTCO and sell a ton of other stuff too. He's the top CUTCO salesperson in company history. And he talks about giftology. Another good example is John Israel. John Israel is also known as Mr. Thank You. He's one of the consistent, high-performing CUTCO sales professionals in our company. And John Israel wrote a book called Mr. Thank You, where he tried an experiment. What if I wrote 5 thank you letters every single day, handwritten, and sent them out to people? His life changed. I'm starting to send some handwritten letters out myself, and the way that it sparks relationships, what it does for you, and what it does for the people who you're sending them to, it's next level. Miracle Morning, Hal Elrod. Really quick on that, he implemented a morning routine that changed his life. One of the things that, again, he's former CUTCO rep. I think he was featured on Oprah, featured on everything else, best-selling author. And one of the things in his morning routine was gratitude. He spends 10 minutes every day finding out what he's grateful for. Jeff Bry is another great example of this. Jeff Bry, he is the region manager of the Midwest region, and he holds something every year called the Future Executives Meeting, where he hand selects, and the managers hand select people to get invites to a meeting that's a strategy session, a really high-level learning experience, but also one of the main things he talks about in that Future Executives meeting. I had the pleasure of being invited my first year when I was an up-and-coming manager, and he talks about a gratitude journal. So gratitude, it's a big freaking value, and it's the key to becoming a top-of-the-line salesperson. Constant and never-ending improvement. You're either growing or you're dying. You're either getting better or you're getting worse. The cool thing is that we are totally focused on improving ourselves here in the Dayton Dedication office. One of the things that really impacted me as an up-and-coming new representative is something called the Vector Connect audio library. Most CUTCO representatives don't even know this exists. And on the website where we go to enter orders online, Vector Connect is what it's called, there's something called the audio library that it's free messages given by the top people, top sales representatives and top managers in our company on how they're doing so well. Nothing's a secret in our company. You just have to take initiative and go out and learn it. Constant and never-ending improvement. The average millionaire reads 2 books a month, and they're nonfiction or business or self-development or something along those lines. They did a study on this. The average American reads less than 1 book a year, and it's a fiction book. Now, I'm not going to tell you how to live your life, but what we're about here and the people who we like to have in our organization are focused on constant and never-ending improvement because the data's out. It works. There's no such thing as good enough. And then the other thing that we're focused on here in the Dayton office is building and living the dream. I know division managers right now. My current mentor, Jake Miser, when he started, he had a job as a dishwasher. Now he's a high-level executive with the company, makes 6 figures many times over. And again, I'm not saying that to impress you, but to impress upon you that he worked really hard for that, and now he's living the dream. I told you about some of the trips I've had a chance to win. Jamaica, Cabo San Lucas, Cayman Islands twice, one with my girlfriend. I'm going to Madrid next year. Been to Hollywood with the company, St. Louis, Detroit. So this is what we're about here at Vector. I know this is a little bit of a longer video, but I really wanted to dive in with you about what it means to be Vector trained. This is what we're about here. We sell the best product in the world. We have the best programs in the world. We have the best salespeople and best managers and just best people in the world. And we've been doing this since 1949. And the American dream is alive and well. It's especially still alive and well for college students. We have something called the All-American Scholarship where top performers in our company can win a scholarship, cash. So this is what it means to be Vector trained. This is what it means to be a part of the Dayton Dedication office. Hey, if you stuck around this long to the end of the video, make sure to give it a like, share it with people so they can really see what we're about here and why we are on a mission to take this $250 million company and make it a $1 billion enterprise. Done.